My name is Susan Baker. I serve in the nursery. My husband is Rick. He serves on the security team. Together we serve on the prayer team, and we are the sign keepers for the church. We have 3 grown daughters who have all attended Epworth Christian School from preschool through 8th grade, and later were graduates of Delmarva Christian High School. Together we attended a church in our old neighborhood where Rick and I grew up. But while the girls were attending Epworth Christian School, we decided to start attending here. I remember learning about God from my family and from going to church when I grew up. It was during my early elementary years when I accepted Jesus as my Savior. But I was glad that I knew that I had a God that loved me, because my family took some hits. My father died just before I turned 5 years old. And when I was 13, my older brother, who I looked up to, died suddenly. And I remember my mother being so strong and expressing faith in God, but I struggled. I didn't attend church again until I was in my 20s. I had fear, and I was afraid of what might happen next. But I'm so grateful that God called me into a deeper relationship with Him and taught me that I do not need to fear. There's trouble in this world, but He has overcome this world. When Rick and I were in our late 20s, before we had children, God called us back to church, and He used my grandmother to do it. My grandfather had passed away. My grandmother needed a ride to church, so we took that opportunity to take her. From that time on, church has been a priority for us. It was during this time that I had a second miscarriage. I was not accustomed to sharing. After having 2 miscarriages, it was not easy to try to have a baby again. I had battles with fear. This time ignited our prayer life with each other. It was God who gave me the strength and courage to try again. Early in the days of pregnancy, I was scared, but I remember the day that I determined that I was not going through the next 9 months afraid. And Rick and I were so blessed when God gave us Jennifer, and we began raising her, and then we had Angela, and then Holly, and then we had 3 little Bakers, and our family was complete. So over the years, there have been more storms in my life, but the more that I focused on God in worship, in prayer, and in speaking His word out loud, the more my faith and trust in Him has grown. Being a follower of Jesus is a life of surrender, surrendering your thoughts, your fears, your pride, and your will. But we surrender to a God who works for the good of those who love Him. God's Spirit that lives within me enables me to do things that I otherwise would not have the power to do. He helps me to forgive those who have hurt me. He helps me to love those who are hard to love. And He helps me to choose to trust Him in the midst of life's storms. To battle the enemy that kept reminding me of my loss and my weaknesses, but God gave me so much grace in my weakness, and it has been so good to me. I'm Susan Baker, and this is my story.